hope you guys are ready because it looks like Tesla stock is about to go higher. Now, of course, I do have to say that this is not financial advice, but it looks like something is happening with the stock and in a good way. For some reason, there's no longer bad news, right? If you guys have been noticing, the bad news for Tesla it's gone. Like it's not there anymore. Now it's all good news. So that's one sign of it. And the other side is, well, I have a whole bunch of lists here on why it could probably go higher. So smash that like button, let's get into it, and hit subscribe if you haven't already, man. Come on, let's go. First things first, it has to do with deliveries, and it looks like China is crushing deliveries. Like Tesla China is crushing deliveries, 17,500, which is surprising a lot of analysts. They're going like, whoa, this is actually pretty darn good, and they're actually raising their Q2 delivery estimates. Now, I'm not talking about those analysts that they're thinking, what, 444,000? That's too high. Those who are thinking in the 410, 415s are now bringing it up to close to my prediction, around 425, exactly 426. And you guys can watch the video on what my exact production and delivery predictions are. I think I'm right on the money. Again, it's not a prediction, not facts, but this is coming up, and that's good for the earnings as well for Q2 that we will get in July, in third week of July. But it doesn't stop there, because it looks like Tesla is pushing EVs to sell as much as they can until this month ends or Q2 ends. So that's also extremely bullish. So reason number one is because delivery is looking to be much better than expected, or at least better than expected. Reason number two, it's that there's less uncertainty and unpredictability with Tesla, with Elon, because as you guys know what's going on with this Delaware court, and I made a video about it, you guys can check it out here as well, how really Elon Musk has checkmated this judge. Whether she overturns it again or approves it, it doesn't really matter, right? Because if she, let's say, overturns it again, he'll just get it re-ratified in Texas. That's it. Simple as that. He can just get ratified in Texas with a new compensation plan. And all this noise with Tesla leaving, with taking away the AI and, whatever he was saying, right? That has evaporated. So the uncertainty and unpredictability has left. And that really helps with investors. They're calmed down. They're more, certain. They don't have to be thinking about this massive headache anymore. Worst comes to worst, just get it re-ratified in Texas. So this uncertainty has gone. Elon leaving Tesla, this BS has gone as well. So that's one of the reasons why a lot of investors are jumping back in. That's number two. Number three, it does look like that Q1 was the bottom in terms of operating margin and earnings. And I agree with this because, Q1 was so terrible because they only delivered 386,000 vehicles, and it wasn't their fault because there was a lot of Red Sea incidents and there was some erosions in the Berlin Gigafactory and some shutdowns here and there. There was a lot of interruptions in Q1, and you know what? Q1 is always the weakest, quarter for automotives. So we always have to take Q1 as like the worst quarter of the year because it is. We shouldn't expect too much from Q1. But I personally do think that it is up from here. I mean, if they do deliver 426,000 vehicles, the operating margin could be north of 6%. Could be as high as 7% if we do include the layoffs that happened. Apparently it's happening in Q3, not Q2, so I do have to adjust that. But nonetheless, we're looking at a operating margin maybe as high as 6%. I gotta look at the numbers again, but this is looking good. This is looking pretty darn good. Then if Q1 was really the bottom and Q2 is higher and it's up from here, then Q3, Q4, and then onwards, it's gonna be a whole lot better as well. And I think analysts are taking note of this because, again, they do look 6 to 12 months, and they are seeing that the second half of 2024 may be pretty good for Tesla on a quarterly basis. So they may be putting that in as well. And again, they don't look more than 12 months down the line. So they're looking that, okay, a year from now, Tesla will be a whole lot better. So we got to price that in slowly. And I think that's what's going on. Number four, the Rivian deal was for some reason, well, not for some reason, we know for a good reason that it was bullish for Tesla. Because it just shows that Tesla is winning and other companies have to team up with other companies to compete against Tesla. Now here's the thing, I'm going to make a whole video of this Rivian deal later because I mean, just look at this meme. That's all I have to say, right? And I'll just make a separate video on that. It's crazy. Now the fifth reason is a whole bunch of catalysts. So if you guys are ready, smash that like button because the catalysts are coming closer. Number one being the Robotaxi event August 8th. If you guys have seen the new Robotaxi by Remake, if I'm not butchering their name, I mean, people are racing to get Robotaxis out. Like, this thing's gonna become a reality. Like, I think a year or two ago, nobody ever thought that Robotaxis are gonna become a reality. But now you've got everyone and their moms coming out with a Robotaxi. Like, the vehicle is there, which is crazy, which tells you that this is the future. This is the future, and Tesla has been right all along. Has been right all along. But the problem with these other robotaxis that are coming out, and I wrote this on X, if you guys aren't following me on X, and I don't know what you guys are doing, is that these guys are, I mean, some of these Remix robotaxi looks okay. No, I don't mind. I'll actually sit in it and go places with it, but not with LiDAR. This thing, they all have LiDAR, and the problem with LiDAR is that it's geofenced. You can't scale. You can't go everywhere. While Tesla's FSD, or their way of solving autonomy, full self-driving, is not geofenced. But I think they will start with geofencing, and then they'll do a few testing, and then once they know that it's good, snap with a finger, just one over-the-air update. This area, that area, this area, open the range, do this. I mean, it's just going to be an overnight thing. I'm telling you, it's going to be crazy. So this robotaxi event is coming on August 8th, and I'll have my own prediction later on, maybe end of July, because I do think there's going to be some leaks coming out with this. I'm going to wait for those and then make my full prediction of that. But as of now, I am expecting to see the vehicle. Well, it's the Cybercab, that's the name of it. And to see, and a date of when they're going to be launching the geofenced, because I do think that's going to be the case, the geofenced robotaxi. They could say beginning of 2025. They could say a year from exact date of this day. I don't know, but these are the two big things. Cybercab, we know we're going to see it 100%, so I'm not worried about that. It's just the date. Tesla's not going to have this historic date just to show the vehicle and say, all right, guys, go home. And here's the application. No, I think there's going to be some juicy things mentioned there. One of them being a date of when they're going to start the robotaxi. I mean, otherwise, Elon would not be saying in the book, the Elon Musk book, that, hey, this is going to be a revolution. It's going to be an important day in history, in humanity, on Earth. You know, it seems like there's a lot more than just showing the vehicle, and I think that's what it is. So anyways, I went a little bit too deep on that. I'll have a full prediction next month. All right, so that's number one, the robotaxi. Number two, FSD is in the beginning stages to enter China. As you guys already know, if you guys are on X, the CEO of Xiping, or Xiaomi, I don't know, either one of those companies, I forgot which CEO it was, checked out the full self-driving in California when he was there, and he was blown away. He's like, whoa, this is next level. And we know that they're starting their preparation to enter China, because Tesla did make a partnership with Baidu, kind of like the Google Maps of China, so it can run off that when they're doing full self-driving. And I do expect this would be a catalyst for Tesla as well, because they can, again, scale it. They have, 2 million vehicles and counting in Tesla on the road. So, sheesh. Third, new affordable vehicles are 9 months away. Can you guys believe that? 9 months away. Elon did say that the new affordable vehicles are going to be launched or available in the first quarter of 2025 in Q1 earnings. He didn't say it's going to be launched. He just said it's going to be ready. So that's going to make a lot of analysts, Wall Street analysts, excited, because this is something that they can sell pretty soon. Last but not least, is the biggest one out of all, is the interest rate cuts later this year. Here's the thing. Inflation has come down. No doubt about that. But take a look at the chart. It's still leveling. Like it's leveled. It's not coming down as fast as we like. They said 2%. At the moment, we're at 3.3%, and it's been hovering between these 3% range literally since last year of July 2023. So will we actually see interest rate cuts by end of the year? That's the hard thing. That's the hard question, right? We don't know. I'm still optimistic that we may get 1, maximum 2 by year end. But it all depends what happens from now till then. The Fed's goal is to get to 2%. Then they're going to reduce it, or even 2.5%, or just reaching the 2% ranges, which they're only 0.4 or 0.3% off from, last month's. Then it looks like interest rates may be coming sooner than we think. But if they're very strict about the 2% rule, that you have to get right at 2%, then maybe we may not get interest rates end of this year. I don't know. It's hard to predict this, but when you look at this chart, usually interest rates do get cut when there's a massive dip, right? That's when interest rates get really cut. So we'll see that this year. I don't know. I think in the US, at least in the US, there is some chance of a soft landing. I do believe that. In my country, in Canada, we did reduce interest rates by 0.25%, but I think that was a political move. There was no reason to reduce it. Sweden's reducing it. Some European countries are looking to reduce it. So we are in this beginning stages of countries thinking of reducing it. And I think the US is part of this as well. This one is the biggest, I think, in my opinion, out of all catalysts, that once you get interest rates cut, then you're going to see a soar in people buying vehicles. Because if you look at EV sales or just any automotive sales right now, it's down, and it's because of interest rates. That's the main reason. Now, of course, you got other stuff like energy. Energy is ramping crazy, and I do think this is part of it as well, but not too much. Even though I do think that in Q2, Tesla's going to surprise us with energy profits and revenue. I'm leaving that out there as well. We also think of the Optimus production, the bot. But again, I mean, that needs time, but some people are saying that by next year, there's going to be some production. But again, I don't think this has to do with anything with all this stuff right now. Mainly, the main things are full self-driving robotaxi, interest rate cuts, and all the other short-term to medium-term things. As long-term investors, we care about the robotaxi and Optimus. All this short-term noise doesn't really matter to us. Now, I do wish that I bought more sub 180. Right now, the stock is nearing 200, and I do think once we go over 200, it could probably go up to 220, 230. Again, I'm not too into technical stuff right now, but it looks like the pressure is there for that. And my price target of 350 ain't changing for this year. I know it sounds crazy, but am I really crazy? That's what happens. But the question is, are you guys ready? Because it looks like Tesla's going to go higher. And, I kind of wish it wouldn't go higher so soon at the moment. I mean, it is up like 15% since 2 weeks. I do want to buy more. I'm so close to 1,000 share, guys. But hey, if it goes up, it goes up. It is what it is. You can't do much. You can't time these things. So, sheesh. I hope y'all are ready, because it looks like Tesla stock is about to go higher. Let's go.